Welcome to Leadership Insights. I'm your host, Elizabeth. Today, I want to share a personal story that led me to tackle one of the most challenging decisions leaders face. Early in my consulting career, I worked with a CEO who was struggling with a star performer who was slowly destroying their company culture. This executive was torn between maintaining business results and protecting their team's well-being. This experience showed me how critical yet complex these situations can be, and it's why we're diving deep into knowing when to fire your best employee. Yes, you heard that right. Sometimes the person delivering your best results might be the one you need to let go. While it sounds counterintuitive, understanding this dynamic is crucial for any leader committed to building a sustainable, healthy organization. Let's explore a reality that many leaders face but few openly discuss: high-performing employees who create toxic work environments. These individuals often exceed their targets, bring in significant revenue, or possess unique technical skills that seem irreplaceable. According to a Harvard Business School study, these toxic superstars can be found in roughly 15% of organizations, and their impact extends far beyond their immediate teams. They're the ones who consistently hit their numbers but create ripple effects of negativity throughout the organization. The question isn't about their performance metrics. It's about understanding and quantifying the hidden costs they bring to your organization. Let me share some real-world examples from different industries. In technology, we often see brilliant engineers who refuse to document their code or mentor others, creating dangerous knowledge silos. In financial services, there are rainmakers who bring in massive accounts but bully support staff and violate compliance procedures. In healthcare, you might find surgeons with excellent patient outcomes who create hostile environments for nurses and residents. Consider this specific scenario. A top sales representative in a manufacturing company consistently brings in 30% of annual revenue. They're brilliant at closing deals but refuse to share leads, regularly undermine colleagues, and create an atmosphere of fear rather than cooperation. While their individual performance is outstanding, team productivity has declined by 25%, departmental turnover has doubled, and other talented employees are actively job hunting. This perfectly illustrates when a top performer's negative impact outweighs their positive contributions. The risks of keeping toxic high performers are more severe than many leaders realize. A comprehensive study by Harvard Business School found that toxic behavior spreads through organizations at a rate 3 times faster than positive behavior. When other employees see that someone can get away with poor behavior because of their performance, it sends a clear message about your company's true values. The financial impact is staggering. Research from the Society for Human Resource Management estimates that the cost of keeping a toxic employee can be 2 to 3 times greater than their annual salary when you factor in increased turnover, lower productivity, and legal risks. Additionally, studies show that teams with a toxic high performer experience a 40% reduction in peer-to-peer collaboration and a 50% decrease in voluntary knowledge sharing. Before we dive into solutions, let's address the common mistakes leaders often make when handling high-performing but toxic employees. The first major mistake is waiting too long to address the situation. Many leaders hope the behavior will improve on its own or convince themselves that the benefits outweigh the costs. This delay typically only compounds the damage to team culture and morale. Second, leaders often fall into the trap of having private, informal conversations without proper documentation. While this might feel more comfortable, it fails to create accountability and can leave the organization vulnerable if termination becomes necessary. The third critical mistake is inconsistent enforcement of standards. When leaders make exceptions for top performers, it erodes trust and creates a double standard that undermines the entire performance management system. Finally, many leaders underestimate the importance of transparent communication with the rest of the team. They often try to handle these situations quietly, leaving other employees to fill in the gaps with their own assumptions and interpretations. Each of these mistakes can be avoided with proper planning, clear documentation, and consistent application of company values and policies. Let me share 2 contrasting case studies that illustrate these dynamics. First, a technology company I worked with had a brilliant software architect who was critical to their product development, but was known for belittling junior developers and refusing to document their work. The company hesitated to address the behavior because of the architect's technical contributions. However, when they finally made the difficult decision to let this person go, team productivity increased by 50%, innovation improved as other team members felt safe to contribute ideas, and they actually accelerated their product development timeline. In contrast, a financial services firm I advised chose to retain a top-performing trader despite numerous complaints about their behavior. Within 18 months, they lost 8 high-potential employees, faced 2 harassment lawsuits, and saw their team's overall performance drop by 30%. The decision to fire a high performer isn't just about addressing toxic behavior. It's fundamentally about leadership integrity and organizational values. Every time you allow poor behavior to continue because someone is delivering results, you're making a clear statement about your values. You're telling your team that results matter more than respect, that individual performance trumps team cohesion, and that your company's stated values are negotiable. Research from MIT's Sloan School of Management shows that organizations with strong cultural alignment outperform their peers by as much as 200% in long-term value creation. Let me share a comprehensive framework for evaluating and managing this critical decision. Start with a systematic assessment using these key steps. First, conduct a thorough impact analysis. Document specific instances of toxic behavior with dates and outcomes. Calculate the financial impact by tracking increased turnover costs, recruitment expenses, and lost productivity. Measure team performance metrics before and after problematic interactions. Gather data on customer complaints or lost business opportunities related to the individual's behavior. Second, perform a detailed cultural assessment. Survey team engagement levels and psychological safety scores. Monitor collaboration metrics like cross-functional project participation and knowledge sharing. Track meeting effectiveness when this person is involved versus when they're absent. Document the time other leaders spend managing conflicts or addressing complaints. Third, implement a structured intervention process. Begin with clear documented feedback sessions outlining specific behaviors that need to change. Create a detailed performance improvement plan with measurable behavioral metrics. Set explicit timelines for improvement and schedule regular check-ins. Document all interventions and responses. Fourth, use the values performance matrix as your decision tool. Plot quarterly performance against behavioral metrics. Set clear thresholds for acceptable behavior and performance combinations. Track progress over time to identify patterns. If someone remains in the high performance, low values quadrant after 2 evaluation cycles despite intervention, prepare for transition. Now let me address what happens after you make the decision to let go of a top performer. This crucial phase requires careful planning and execution. First, focus on immediate team stabilization. Hold one-on-one meetings with team members to address concerns and reinforce your commitment to a healthy culture. Create a clear transition plan for key responsibilities and projects. Implement temporary support structures to manage the workload distribution. Second, develop a comprehensive communication strategy. Craft a clear, consistent message about the departure that aligns with your values while respecting privacy. Prepare leaders at all levels to address questions and concerns. Communicate proactively with key clients or stakeholders who might be affected. Third, implement a robust succession plan. Identify internal candidates who can step up to fill critical roles. Create development plans for high-potential team members. Consider this an opportunity to redistribute responsibilities in ways that create growth opportunities for others. Finally, focus on rebuilding team dynamics. Organize team-building activities that emphasize collaboration and trust. Implement new processes that encourage knowledge sharing and collective success. Create recognition systems that reward both performance and cultural contributions. As we conclude today's episode, I want to challenge you to embrace a deeper understanding of courageous leadership. True leadership isn't just about making tough decisions. It's about creating environments where everyone can thrive and contribute their best work. Think about your organization's culture as a living ecosystem that requires constant nurturing and protection. The most successful leaders I've worked with share a common trait. They understand that short term results never justify long term cultural damage. They view their role not just as performance managers, but as cultural architects building lasting legacies of excellence and integrity. I challenge you to reflect on these questions. How are you actively shaping your organization's culture? What messages do your daily decisions send about your values? Are you building a culture of sustainable excellence or temporary success? Remember, every decision you make either strengthens or weakens your cultural foundation. For a deeper dive into this topic, I encourage you to read our comprehensive blog article on managing toxic high performers. You'll find the link in the description below. If you'd like to learn more about building strong, healthy organizational cultures and making tough leadership decisions, schedule a free strategic diagnostic with BBRCM. The link is in the description. We also offer specialized resources on managing complex personnel decisions and building value-driven organizations. Until next time, keep leading with courage, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to your values.